Okay, so if you're even remotely into wellness, you've seen this stuff everywhere. Ashwagandha. It's in our supplements, our drinks, our social media feeds. It's pitched as this miracle fix for stress, sleep, you name it. But is there a darker side to this ancient herb that we're not talking about? Let's get into it. You see, for centuries, ashwagandha was this respected remedy in Ayurvedic medicine, often used to help people recover from an illness. But somewhere along the line, it got a major rebrand. Now it's marketed to us as the go-to answer for our modern, chronically stressed, burned-out lives. It's become a daily staple for millions. And right there, that's the core of the issue. The way we're using it now, popping a capsule every single day for months or even years on end, is completely different from how it was used traditionally. And this massive shift in how we take it raises some really important questions, and maybe some serious problems. So let's back up a bit and look at where this all started. In its original Ayurvedic context, ashwagandha is what's known as an adaptogen, and its whole purpose was pretty different from a daily wellness pill. Okay, so the best way to think about an adaptogen is like a thermostat for your body's stress response. The idea is that instead of just cranking the heat up or down, it helps your body find its own balance, its own equilibrium, so you can better handle whatever stress comes your way. So that's the traditional story. But what about the hard science? Does modern research actually back up these claims about stress and anxiety? Well, yeah, actually. The evidence is pretty strong. Multiple studies, even ones reviewed by the National Institutes of Health, have found that when you compare it to a placebo, people taking ashwagandha report a significant drop in how stressed they feel. People aren't just imagining it, they genuinely feel better. And look, this chart right here shows you exactly what we're talking about. See that big drop on the left? That's the group taking ashwagandha. Their stress scores plummeted after 8 weeks. Now look at the placebo group on the right. Much smaller change. The difference is pretty clear. But it's not just about how people feel. We're talking about real physical changes in your body. This number, a 23% reduction, is the average drop in cortisol levels seen in one study. And cortisol, as you probably know, is the body's main stress hormone. So this stuff is having a measurable biological effect. And the list of benefits just keeps going. Studies have also linked it to better sleep, sharper focus, less fatigue, even cutting down on those stress-induced food cravings. I mean, when you see a list like this, it's really no wonder it's become so incredibly popular. Okay, so you have to wonder, how in the world does a simple herb pull all this off? To answer that, we need to look at what it's actually doing to our brain chemistry. All right, this is where things get really interesting, and honestly, a little alarming. It turns out ashwagandha works by enhancing the activity of GABA, which is basically the brain's main off switch, its primary calming chemical. This is the exact same pathway that powerful prescription drugs like Xanax target. On top of that, it seems to boost serotonin, just like SSRI antidepressants, think Zoloft or Prozac. And this quote from psychiatrist Dr. Joseph just hits the nail on the head. All that marketing talk about supporting your system is frankly misleading. When you take this every day, you're not just giving your body a little boost. You are chemically altering your brain in a way that is very similar to taking a pharmaceutical drug. So it follows, right? If it acts like a drug, it can have drug-like side effects. And this is the side of the story that you almost never hear about from wellness influencers or supplement companies. And one of the most common things people report is something called emotional blunting. It's a known side effect of some antidepressants, where you just feel numb. The highs aren't as high, but the lows aren't as low. Users describe feeling disconnected, not just from sadness or anxiety, but also from joy and love.
But it can get even more intense. If you look online, you'll find these really disturbing communities of people talking about what they call ashwagandha syndrome. We're talking about severe, long-lasting symptoms that stick around even after they stop taking it. Things like anhedonia, the complete inability to feel pleasure, total loss of libido, and this terrifying feeling that their nervous system has been permanently damaged.
And yeah, just like with pharmaceuticals, your body can get used to it. And when you stop, withdrawal. People report that their anxiety comes roaring back, sometimes even worse than before. They get hit with terrible insomnia and even panic attacks. That's a classic sign of chemical dependency. And it's not just about what's happening in your brain. Official sources have documented other serious issues, like cases of acute liver injury. It can also mess with your thyroid function. The concerns are so real that the country of Denmark actually banned the sale of ashwagandha entirely last year.
So you're probably asking, if the risks are this big, why isn't this a bigger deal? Well, a huge part of the answer lies in the completely unregulated, Wild West world of the supplement industry. And this is a massive part of the problem, because what's actually in the bottle can be dramatically different from one brand to the next. I mean, look at this. The active compounds, called withanolides, can range from 2.5% all the way up to 35%. That means one brand could literally be more than 10 times stronger than another, and you would have absolutely no idea just by looking at the label. And that leads to this huge cap, right? All the scientific studies showing it's safe were really short. We're talking just 6 to 8 weeks. But in the real world, people are taking this stuff every day for months or even years. We have absolutely no data on the long-term safety of doing that. This all comes back to that one core idea that's so easy to fall for, that natural automatically means safe. But as this quote makes crystal clear, that belief isn't just wrong. It can be dangerous. A plant, an herb, can be every bit as powerful and carry every bit as much risk as a chemical cooked up in a lab. So, here's where we land. We have this ancient, all-natural herb that science shows is acting on our brains just like a powerful modern psychiatric drug. It can help some people, for sure, but it also carries serious under-discussed risks. Which brings us to the final question. If it acts like a drug, shouldn't it be regulated like one? What do you think?